Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the Constitutional Court held that freedom of expression lies at the heart of a democracy. And the Constitution recognizes that individuals in our society need to be able to hear, form, and express opinions and views on a wide range of matters. Similarly, the court held that the right to religious freedom includes the right to entertain such religious beliefs as the person chooses, the right to declare religious beliefs openly and without fear of hindrance or reprisal. Any legislative measures that limit these freedoms must be approached with great circumspection. And the ACDP believes that the bill before us will have a limiting effect on these freedoms, despite the welcome exemptions and improvements. According to the Kulani Constitutional Court judgment, let's just consider what hate speech is. Hate speech travels beyond mere offensive expression and can be understood as extreme detestation and vilification, which risks provoking discriminatory activities against that group. Thus, expressions that are merely hurtful, especially when understood in everyday parlance, are insufficient to constitute hate speech. Offensive speech is protected by freedom of expression. Now, the ACDP fully appreciates that there are and have been deplorable incidents of hate crimes and hate speech, which must be dealt with the full force of the law. No one, in whatever setting, should be allowed to make statements that advocate hatred and incite violence. And this is a totally acceptable limitation on the freedom of expression. However, our view is that the bill before us today goes too far in the first place, and secondly, that there is sufficient legislation and common law already in place to deal with hate speech and with hate crimes. Chairperson, if one considers as well that the definitions, whilst we have worked on the definitions and tried to contribute to make them narrower, if one considers the definition of harm, it's still very broadly defined as any emotional, psychological, physical, social, or economic harm. What does social harm mean? This is far too widely defined and can be abused. Now, we also are concerned that hate speech laws have been used internationally against Christians. There are numerous cases in which Christian street preachers, laymen, not clergymen, have been persecuted. For example, in the United Kingdom and elsewhere, for alleged hate crimes, and then later acquitted after lengthy appeals. This illustrates not only the need for the current religious exemption clause, but also the need for it to be strengthened as we advocated to protect every believer and not just the clergy. Crucially, most of these cases involved speech that stopped well short of inciting violence. And so for these reasons, the ACDP, whilst we welcome the improvements, is regrettably not able to support this bill. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member.